Merry Meet and welcome to Psalmic Saturday here at Ariel's Corner. This is Ariel Gatoga and we are streaming live. Moderating today are the lovely Heather, the lovely Honeypaw, and the lovely Dre. Thank you so much, moderators, and thank you so much to everyone for joining us today. We have a premiere today at 11:15 a.m. Today's psalm is rather long, so we did that 15 minutes later than usual, but I hope that you can join us for that. You should be able to, I'm going to check and make sure I did it, but you should be able to hang out to the end of the exit music, and that will get you right to the premiere. Our website is located at arielscorner.com. arielscorner.com. That's where you can find all of our content. We have courses, we have booklets, we have guided meditations, all kinds of cool stuff. So check it out, arielscorner.com. Just a reminder, everything that we offer is free of charge. We also have a podcast hub, and you can find that at arielspodcasts.com, arielspodcasts.com, and that's a easy way to find all of our different podcasts. Some people anyway find it to be easier to navigate than the playlists on YouTube. Plus, we are adding transcripts to each of those podcasts on that site. Our shop is located at arielscornershop.com, arielscornershop.com. You can find mugs and t-shirts. We've started to put some hoodies in there. We've got a few beanies, and it's just a nice, easy way to give us some support. If you'd like to donate to the channel, you can do that by going to our main website, arielscorner.com, and clicking on the donate button in the footer of those pages. You could also use our PayPal portal, and that's at paypal.me/arielgatoga, paypal.me/arielgatoga, or you could use a super sticker, super chat, or super thanks right here on YouTube. We do appreciate your support, and we appreciate you for being here today. We have a chat thread going, and if I get through this big long psalm in plenty of time, and I have some time at the end of the stream, I can take questions, so you can put those questions in that chat thread. If I don't have time to get to your questions today, try bringing the question on over to our Discord server or our private Facebook group, and you can find links to both of those on our website, arielscorner.com, arielscorner.com. All of those social media links are in the header and footer of each page. All right, I think that does it. Let's get going with this long psalm. Oops. Okay. Just making sure I'm where I need to be. All right. Ba-da-da-do-do-do. Today we are working Psalm 37. In traditional psalm magic, there are some uses for Psalm 37 that are fairly common, and those include to overcome jealousy, to render an enemy impotent, to end the habit of fault-finding, to soothe and quiet the nerves, to end gossip, to release resentment, to release disappointment, and to become serene and still. I like the idea of rendering an enemy impotent, but the way I want to gear this psalm today is in dealing with resenting abusive people who seem to always prosper. I know that you've noticed this before. There seem to be people that are just awful on every level. There's not a redeeming quality in them, and yet they seem to get wealthier. They seem to get more powerful. Nothing bad ever seems to happen to them. Nothing bad ever seems to happen to them. And in fact, they seem to continue to get better and better and better. And so this is a great psalm to come to when we're experiencing that, and to help the tides turn so that there is equity in our world. The way we work psalm magic is simple, easy, and effective. We take the psalm in question and we recite it out loud once all the way through without stopping. Then we go back through that psalm and we consider each verse one at a time, and we search for hidden meanings that lie within each verse. We see those as magic seeds, and there's a plethora of magic seeds. In fact, there's so many of those magical seeds that you'll never be able to find them all. And that's why it seems like every time you come to the same psalm again and again and again, it's as if you're reading a brand new psalm. By searching for, digging for, and then applying what we find when we're looking for these seeds, so digging for these seeds and then applying what we find in the wisdom of those seeds to the situation we brought to the psalm, we are dislodging the magic. And those seeds are thus planted in the depths of our mind, where they take root, they grow, they blossom forth, and they bear fruit after their kind. And that is precisely what we are going to do together right now with Psalm 37. Fret not thyself because of evildoers, neither be thou envious against the workers of iniquity, for they shall soon be cut down like the grass and wither as the for they shall soon be cut down like the grass and wither as the green herb. Trust in the Lord and do good, so shalt thou dwell in the land, and verily thou shalt be fed. Delight thyself also in the Lord, and he shall give thee the desires of thine heart. Commit thy way unto the Lord, trust also in him, and he shall bring it to pass. And he shall bring forth thy righteousness as the light, and thy judgment as the noonday. Rest in the Lord, and wait patiently for him. Fret not thyself because of him who prospereth in his way, because of the man who bringeth wicked devices to pass. Cease from anger and forsake wrath. Fret not thyself in any wise to do evil. For evildoers shall be cut off, but those that wait upon the Lord, they shall inherit the earth. For yet a little while, and the wicked shall not be. Yea, thou shalt diligently consider his place, and it shall not be. But the meek shall inherit the earth, and shall delight themselves in the abundance of peace. The wicked plotteth against the just, and gnasheth upon him with his teeth. The Lord shall laugh at him, for he seeth that his day is coming. The wicked have drawn out the sword, and have bent their bow, to cast down the poor and needy, and to slay such as be of upright conversation. Their sword shall enter into their own heart, and their bows shall be broken. A little that a righteous man hath is better than the riches of many wicked. For the arms of the wicked shall be broken, but the Lord upholdeth the righteous. The Lord knoweth the days of the upright, and their inheritance shall be forever. They shall not be ashamed in the evil time, and in the days of famine they shall be satisfied. But the wicked shall perish, and the enemies of the Lord shall be as the fat of lambs. They shall consume, into smoke shall they consume away. I'm going to do that again. But the wicked shall perish, and the enemies of the Lord shall be as... I can do this today, I promise. But the wicked shall perish, and the enemies of the Lord shall be as the fat of lambs. They shall consume, into smoke shall they consume away. The wicked borroweth and payeth not again, but the righteous showeth mercy and giveth. For such as be blessed of him shall inherit the earth, and they that be cursed of him shall be cut off. The steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord, and he delighteth in his way. Though he fall, he shall not be utterly cast down, for the Lord upholdeth him with his hand. I have been young, and now am old, yet have I not seen the righteous forsaken, nor his seed begging bread. He is ever merciful and lendeth, and his seed is blessed. Depart from evil and do good, and dwell forevermore. For the Lord loveth judgment, and forsake not his saints. and forsake not his saints. They are preserved forever, but the seed of the wicked shall be cut off. The righteous shall inherit the land and dwell therein forever. The mouth of the righteous speaketh wisdom, and his tongue talketh of judgment. The law of his God is in his heart, none of his steps the law of his God is in his heart, none of his steps shall slide. The wicked watcheth the righteous, and seeketh to slay him. The Lord will not leave him in his hand, nor condemn him when he is judged. Wait on the Lord, and keep his way, and he shall exalt thee to inherit the land. When the wicked are cut off, thou shalt see it. I have seen the wicked in great power, and spreading himself like a green bay tree. Yet he passed away, and lo, he was not. Yea, I sought him, but he could not be found. Mark the perfect man, and behold the upright, for the end of that man is peace. But the transgressors shall be destroyed together, and the end of the wicked shall be cut off. Again with that one. But the transgressors shall be destroyed together, the end of the wicked shall be cut off. One more time. But the transgressors shall be destroyed together, the end of the wicked shall be cut off. But the salvation of the righteous is of the Lord. He is their strength in the time of trouble. And the Lord shall help them and deliver them. He shall deliver them from the wicked and save them, because they trust in him. This is all a lesson. This is not a petition. This is not a prayer to the Lord or to the infinite. This is all a lesson from the inner guide. And as we learn this lesson, as we allow ourselves to have the seeds of the wisdom of this lesson planted into the depths of our mind, we will see things working out in the world in a way that we didn't think was possible. So whatever it is that you're thinking of right now where it feels like there's unfairness and you don't seem to be getting what you need, yet the people that are so mean and bad seem to get what they need, and many times they get what they need on your back, this is going to help turn that around very quickly. It starts out with, "Fret not thyself because of evildoers, neither be thou envious against the workers of iniquity." The first lesson that the psalmist is teaching us is to stop thinking about it. Don't get so uptight. You don't need to study this anymore. You don't need to be so obsessed with what's going on with them. In fact, when you take your mind off of it, that gives the healing energy a chance to flow. "For they shall soon be cut down like the grass and wither as the green herb." Everything that's not supposed to be what it is going to eventually go away. And that includes this behavior. And you can see this behavior in your mind being cut down, just like the gardeners coming through the lawn, and it's just going to be cut down. There's no worry. You have nothing to fear. You have nothing to worry about. It is happening. "Trust in the Lord and do good, so shalt thou dwell in the land, and verily thou shalt be fed." Take your mind and focus it on the infinite. Take your mind off of what these people are doing or that person is doing, whatever is happening out in the world, and refocus it on the infinite. When you refocus it on the infinite, then you are now on that beam. And where we put our focus with our mind is where we start to see things happening. So don't be so, it's teaching us not to be so obsessed with what's going on with all of this, and instead turn that energy on thinking of thoughts of the infinite. It says, in fact, "Delight thyself also in the Lord, and he shall give thee the desires of thine heart." So delight. Instead of thinking resentment about this, which is justified, it's understandable, but it's telling you don't get caught in that trap, because that's the ego using these people's behavior against you. Instead, you're going to use their behavior against themselves. You're going to learn how to do that ninja move where you turn your focus away from what they're doing and place it on the infinite, and then what they're doing comes back on them. And then it's saying that when you do this, that's how you get all the desires of your heart. Not only will you be protected from this, not only will justice prevail, but you'll get everything you want. So it's a pretty good deal. Commit thy way unto the Lord, trust also in him, and he shall bring it to pass. If you keep your focus on the infinite's got a thoroughfare to make sure that you get what you want. The infinite wants you to be happy. The infinite wants you to succeed. The infinite wants you to have everything you want. And all of these things that appear to be happening out in the world that aren't just, those are being taken care of. But when you focus on them, you're actually delaying the justice. And you're also delaying your own good. So don't misuse your mind in the process, because that's what the ego wants you to do. The ego wants you to take all of what's going on outside of you in the world as an excuse to waste your time, to focus all of your time and energy and mental power on them rather than on you. And if you can put that focus on what you want and all of the desires of your heart, and then turn and think and contemplate about the qualities of the infinite, then those desires of your heart will come to pass. And he shall bring forth thy righteousness as the light, and thy judgment as the noonday. That's the natural occurrence. When you put your focus on the infinite, then the infinite puts its focus on you. And when the infinite's focus is on you, everything becomes righted. It's because the divine design of your life starts to manifest. Rest in the Lord and wait patiently for him. Fret not thyself because of him who prospereth in his way, because of the man who bringeth wicked devices to pass. Don't obsess over these people. Don't obsess over what's going on out there. Instead, it's telling you to rest in the Lord. When you rest in the Lord, that means that you're able to relax, let down your guard, feel safe, and feel at peace. Those moments of quietness where you and the infinite are one, which you always already are, but when you acknowledge and you have the visceral experience of your oneness, that does more for you than any amount of searching for news stories or doom scrolling or talking to your friends about how horrible it is. That doesn't do anything to remedy this situation. But the time spent in rest and in peace with the infinite does a lot. Cease from anger and forsake wrath. Fret not thyself in any wise to do evil. There's no excuse for you being upset about this, it's saying. It's understandable, but it's not something that you want to do anyway. You need to become wise. You need to become adept, and that means to become disciplined. And you become disciplined by not letting it bother you, by focusing your mind on where your mind needs to be focused, and that's on the infinite. And not be upset, not acting out, because if you act out, even though you're justified, then you're playing in the dirt with all of the same energy that you are trying to be protected from and trying to see come to justice. For evildoers shall be cut off, but those that wait upon the Lord, they shall inherit the earth. So you don't want to become an evildoer. That's the whole idea of the ego, is to get you to play in the mud. And if you're playing in the mud, then you have to deal with the repercussions of that. But if you're pulling back and you're placing all of your focus on the infinite, then you're going to inherit the earth, meaning you're going to get everything you want out of this life, regardless of them. You don't have to worry about them. For yet a little while, and the wicked shall not be. Yea, thou shalt diligently consider his place, and it shall not be. You know, if you were to cut yourself off from all the news, or cut yourself off from all of the remembrance of whatever it is that you're trying to that you're trying to, that you desire to see come to justice, if you were to just pull back, turn away from it, forget about it, and put your focus on the infinite, you will be speeding up the resolution of this exponentially. You will be speeding this justice up in ways that you have no understanding of. But if you're obsessing over the news, if you're obsessing over the problems, then you're actually delaying it. Don't worry, you'll hear about it when there's news that you need to hear about. You'll hear about it. You don't need to go hunt for it. Yet, so it says, for yet a little while, and the wicked shall not be. Yea, thou shalt diligently consider his place, and it shall not be. But the meek shall inherit the earth, and shall delight themselves in the abundance of peace. This is a promise. A promise in the Psalms is a law. If you are meek, meaning adept, if you are disciplined in mind, and you're non-reactive, you will get what you want. You will inherit the earth. And the people causing you problems won't be able to touch you. In fact, they will destroy themselves. The wicked plotteth against the just, and gnasheth upon him with his teeth. The infinite doesn't abide this. The infinite doesn't will that you be victimized, or that anybody be victimized by these people. And therefore, since that's not the infinite's will, it can only happen within the illusion, and the illusion is temporary. And it has to destroy itself. It always has to destroy itself. It always has to come to an end. But if we don't prop it up on any level, then it happens very, very quickly. The Lord shall laugh at him, for he seeth that his day is coming. And that's where we want to be, is sitting in the laughter of the infinite. Sitting in the laughter of the infinite. Isn't this stupid that they think that they're so powerful? Isn't this ridiculous how they think that they are making any difference in my life or anybody else's life? How ridiculous this is, because I see how this is all going to turn out. I know that this is all going to turn out perfectly for everyone. And so the more we can withdraw our attention and our fear and our upset from the situation and turn and face the infinite, the more quickly that's going to happen. And we do that by joining in the laughter. The wicked have drawn out the sword and have bent their bow to cast down the poor and the needy, and to slay such as be of upright conversation. They always do that, right? They always try to take advantage of the disadvantaged. They always try to make sure that they profit off of the backs of people that are disadvantaged. That's just how it works. It's always been that way. Look throughout the history of the world, it's always been that way. And they always do end up being destroyed. Look at every dictator in history, they've always been defeated eventually. Every plague has always had an end. Every sense of destruction like that, any evil force, always finds its nemesis, always finds its conclusion. And we are being taught here that we can speed that up by not getting caught up in the drama. Their sword shall enter... I got it. Okay. Their sword shall enter into their own heart, and their bows shall be broken. So again, it's a promise, and a promise is a law. What goes around comes around. This is the boomerang effect. And it seems like that doesn't happen because of several reasons. One reason is people that don't have a sense of guilt about what they're doing. They don't have a sense of right and wrong, and so they are cruel and they're mean and they don't care. It doesn't bother them. They don't care who they hurt, so they don't have a sense of guilt. And if you don't have a sense of guilt, then you don't have the repercussions right away. It seems as though you can get away with anything. And then what happens is that people get so obsessed over how upset they are about it. And when the more people getting obsessed over how upset they are about it, that props them up even more. And they feed on that energy. But ultimately, one way or another, that is, since it's not the will of the infinite, it does come to an end. But the way that we can speed that up is to withdraw our emotional energy from the situation and pivot and turn to the infinite instead. And then all they're left with is their own devices, and it always boomerangs back on them very quickly. This is the whole idea of forgive your enemy, turn the other cheek. It's not to be passive and to be abused. It's because that's the way that you take yourself out of the equation and you turn it back on them. It's a type of reversing spell. A little that a righteous man hath is better than the riches of many wicked. And that's something just to remind yourself. Remind yourself that if you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, if your mind is where it's supposed to be, if you are being the best version of yourself that you can be, you don't have to worry about them. You don't have to concern yourself with how rich they're getting or how they're being, how they're corrupt or taking advantage or oppressing, any of that. You don't have to worry about that because you understand that you're not part of that. And if you keep withdrawing from that energy field, then you give them all of the ammunition to destroy themselves. For the arms of the wicked shall be broken, but the Lord upholdeth the righteous. That's how it works. If it's not the infinite's will, it ends. If it is the infinite's will, it continues. It's the infinite's will that you be happy. It's actually the infinite's will that they be happy too, but they're not there yet. They don't know how to be happy. All they know how is to be greedy and how to be oppressive. And so for the time being, they're going to have their arms broken. And their arms broken simply means their ability to continue to oppress, their ability to continue abusing. And then it says, but the Lord upholdeth the righteous. And so allow yourself to be upheld. If you're using your mind properly, you're being upheld. You are safe. You are protected. You are prospering in the midst of all of this because you're learning how to use your mind properly. The Lord knoweth the days of the upright, and their inheritance shall be forever. The infinite already has this handled. It's already there. The only thing that's standing in the way between you and your happiness is time, and you can collapse that time by withdrawing your emotion from the problem and turning and facing the infinite. And when you turn and face the infinite's inheritance for you is there, right there for you. And then it says that your inheritance shall be forever. That means that it's available right now. You don't have to wait. Right now, it's available. They shall not be ashamed in the evil time, and in the days of famine they shall be satisfied. So there is a time in three-dimensional reality where things have to get fixed, where we're going from a place where the oppressors are becoming less and less powerful. And during that time, they usually get their dander up. They usually fight harder. They usually do horrible things to either distract or to try to show their power. And usually when it's at its worst is when they're in the midst of being destroyed. And during those times, you don't have to worry about it because you're protected, because you know how to use your mind. You will not be ashamed in the evil time, and in the days of famine you will be satisfied. All your needs are going to be met. It's as if you're watching it on a movie screen, and of course you're there to help, but you'll be shown what to do. You'll be told what to do, and most importantly, you'll be safe and protected, and you don't have to worry about it because it has to happen that things get rebalanced, and that's what you can look forward to. But the wicked shall perish. And the enemies of the Lord shall be as the fat of lambs. They shall consume. Into smoke they shall consume away. Again, it's a law. It's the law of the universe that which is not the will of the infinite has to go away. And so that's why the wicked shall perish. Now, it's their behavior that will perish, not their souls, because their souls still aren't like that. But their egos are so much a part of their identity that they don't even understand that they have souls. So that's going to be a long process probably for them, nothing that we have to worry about. So we're not condemning them as souls when we do this kind of work. What we're doing is we are contributing to the rebalancing so that the infinite's will is manifest instead of the will of these people. The wicked borroweth and payeth not again, but the righteous showeth mercy and giveth. So you don't need to do tit for tat. You don't need to, when the problem that happens a lot of times is when there's a lot of evil behavior in the world and cruel behavior in the world, people start saying, well, that's how it is now. I guess that's how I'll be too. Don't allow yourself to be compromised because everybody's doing it. You don't need to be compromised. You need to allow yourself to pull away from that, turn to the infinite and ask the infinite to guide you. And you'll be guided. You'll know what to do. And it's important that your needs are met. It's important that you are safe. And the way that your needs will be met and that you will be safe is by not playing with the fray, not worrying about so much what's going on out there, but putting your focus on the infinite. For such as be blessed of him shall inherit the earth, and they that be cursed of him shall be cut off. And you'll see it happening. You'll see it happen. When it starts to happen, everybody gets shocked. Everybody gets, they don't expect that things are going to turn out okay. So everybody's always in this like, oh my gosh, isn't it amazing? How did that ever happen? But you'll not be one of those people. You'll understand, well, of course this is happening. Of course everything's turning out okay. We knew this was coming, right? You're not going to be surprised. The steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord, and he delighteth in his way. In other words, ask for help. Ask for guidance. If you ask the infinite, what do I do? Where do I go? Who do I talk to? How do I respond to this? Your steps will be ordered. You'll know exactly what to do, and you won't make grievous errors because you ask. And if you do make a mistake, you know to ask how to correct it. And then it says, and he delighteth in his way. The infinite is delighted in you. The infinite is delighted when you ask for help and you ask for guidance. Though he fall, he shall not be utterly cast down, for the Lord upholdeth him with his hand. In other words, it's okay that you make mistakes too. Everybody does. But you keep coming back to the infinite for help, for guidance, and the infinite shows you how to correct those mistakes before they become a big deal. I have been young and now am old, yet I have not seen the righteous forsaken, nor his seed begging bread. So this is the psalmist reassuring you, I'm as old as the hills. I've been around since Methuselah. I'm older than Methuselah. I've been around since the beginning. And I've never once seen it where it didn't work out the way I'm saying it's going to. So you can trust me. I know what I'm talking about. You're not going to be having problems. You have nothing to fear. You have nothing to worry about. As long as you learn how to keep your mind focused properly, all will be well. He is ever merciful and lendeth, and his seed is blessed. In other words, your behavior is not compromised just because everybody else is going crazy around you. Depart from evil and do good and dwell forevermore. It's easy, right? I'm not going to be tempted to be part of the fray. I'm going to keep my mind focused on the infinite and ask that my steps be guided. For the Lord loveth judgment and forsaketh not his saints. They are preserved forever. but the seed of the wicked shall be cut off. Again, reassuring you, you don't have to worry. All will be well. The only ones that really have to worry are the ones that aren't doing what I'm telling you to do. I'm using the words of the psalmist, of this teacher. If you keep my teachings here, you're going to do great. And if you don't keep my teachings here, well, you'll see what happens. The righteous shall inherit the land and dwell therein forever. So the land means the manifestations. Your best and highest good is being manifest and will continue to manifest and will even manifest in the midst of all of the craziness. And then when all the craziness is over, you're still going to have all of your good manifest. So you're going to do great. The mouth of the righteous speaketh wisdom, and his tongue talketh of judgment. Very important lesson here. Mind your words. Don't shoot off at the mouth. Don't bitch and moan about the way everything is all the time. Don't just be part of the crowd that all they ever do is talk about how bad everything is. Don't be posting all of this stuff all the time online. Try something new. Try something new. Try something new and recognize that anytime you use your words, whether it be out of your actual mouth or out of your fingertips on a keyboard, you are helping to create reality as it is. And it's giving you another option here to turn and face the infinite and ask the infinite to guide your words, because your words have power. The law of his God is in his heart. None of his steps shall slide. The law is the bottom line law. The bottom line law is the law of cause and effect. And if the bottom line cause is the infinite, then the bottom line effect is perfection. And so if that's in your heart, that means that's in your deep mind, then only that will happen for you, regardless of what's going on in other people's lives. The wicked watcheth the righteous and seeketh to slay him. So the infinite always wants to attack that which is not. The wicked always wants to attack that which is innocent. That's how guilty people are. They point the finger at the innocent. It's just how they are. And that's never going to change. So don't be so upset about that. And don't be so surprised by that. Of course, that's what they do. The Lord will not leave him in his hand, nor condemn him when he is judged. If you turn and face the infinite, it won't matter that that's what these people are doing. If they do that to you, if they do that to anybody, if you're turning and facing the infinite, you'll know what to do. You'll know how to handle it, and it's not going to be a problem for you. Wait on the Lord and keep his way, and he shall exalt thee to inherit the land. When the wicked are cut off, thou shalt see it. In other words, you don't have to keep your ear to the ground. You don't have to know all the minutia of what's going on in the world. What you have to do is wait on the Lord, meaning sit in the presence of the infinite. Let yourself be governed by the infinite. And it says, keep his way. How do you keep the way of the infinite? By being guided, by letting yourself be led and guided. When you do that, the infinite's will is for you to be exalted and to inherit the land. In other words, have all the desires of your heart. Live a life of peace, live a life of prosperity, and that's how the infinite wants your life to be eternally. And then when the wicked are cut off, you'll see it. You don't have to keep tabs on it. You'll see it. It'll be right there. I have seen the wicked in great power and spreading himself like a green bay tree. So again, this is the psalmist is saying, you think you know everything? You don't know what I know. I've seen this stuff coming and going for so many thousands of years that you don't have access to. My memory is longer than yours. I know how this works. So you can trust me. I know how this stuff works. Yet he passed away, and lo, he was not. Yea, I sought him, but he could not be found. The evil does not last. Anything that is not the will of the infinite does not last. It always perishes. It always goes away. It always ends. Mark the perfect man and behold the upright, for the end of that man is peace. You are perfect. You were created perfect. And the secret behind all of this is the so-called wicked are ultimately perfect too. So eventually they're going to have to learn this lesson on their own. They will learn that they're perfect. They will find ways to make amends. Everybody will be fine in the end. But that's not our concern. Our concern right now is for what is going on in our lives. And you are perfect. Mark the perfect man and behold the upright, for the end of that man is peace. Your destiny is peace. And it's telling you that you can find your perfection by seeking peace. If peace is your priority, your perfection is inherent in that. And remember that peace is a package deal. It's like getting an all-inclusive cruise. All your drinks are paid, all your excursions are paid, all your entertainment's paid, your food's paid. It's all included. There's nothing that you have to worry about. It's all included. Same thing goes with your peace. Your prosperity's there, your relationships are there. Everything that you could possibly desire or require to enjoy your life is part of that peace. So it's telling you to seek peace. And that's where you find your perfection. But the transgressors shall be destroyed together. The end of the wicked shall be cut off. It's a package deal for them too. They're all going to go down together. All of the ones that are out to destroy will be destroyed. That's just the law. But the salvation of the righteous is of the Lord. He is their strength in the time of trouble. So if you're experiencing turbulent times, if you're experiencing fear, it's an indication to you that it's time for you to turn to the infinite, because that's the salvation of the righteous. And the salvation of something, to be salvaged, means to be redeemed, to be also delivered. So you're lifted out of the trouble. You are 100% safe. It's not just a little bit safe. It happens completely. It's a complete deliverance. So the salvation of the righteous is of the Lord. The infinite has you. But remember, you have freedom of choice. Your free will to use your mind however you want. So you don't want the Lord to wait on you. You want to wait on the Lord. In other words, you want your mind to be focused on the infinite and let the infinite do the lifting for you. You don't want to wait until, you're at the 11th hour and then say, oh yeah, that's right. I can turn and face the infinite instead of this. And the Lord shall help them and deliver them. He shall deliver them from the wicked and save them. Deliverance is instantaneous. Deliverance is not a process. Deliverance is a snap. It's an instantaneous thing. You're delivered in an instant. So it's important to remember that when it says, and the Lord shall help them and deliver them. He shall deliver them from the wicked and save them because they trust in him. So if you put your faith in the infinite and you understand that the infinite's will for you is safety and happiness and joy, prosperity, all of those things, that's the will of the infinite for you. And nothing can oppose the infinite, but you have the right to use your mind any way you want to. Then it reminds you, I'm going to use my right to focus on the infinite so that I can be delivered. I can have all of the good that I desire and not waste my time fretting and moaning and complaining about how nothing bad ever happens to them and how come they get to do whatever they want and everybody else suffers. All of those kinds of thinking, the use of the mind to do that is understandable, but it's non-effective. And he starts the psalm out telling you not to do that. The very first thing this teacher says is, fret not thyself because of evildoers. Stop that. Because if you do that, you're just giving them more power. You're propping them up. And we don't want that. We want you to be happy. We want you to be safe. We want you to prosper and let their behavior take care of itself, because they will fold in on themselves and die. So you just keep coming back to the same psalm again and again until you get a sense of peace and certainty that everything is working out perfectly. When you get that sense of peace and certainty, that's an indicator from your deep mind that your powerful spell has been cast. And when your powerful spell has been cast, then you don't have to worry about it anymore. You move on and you stop thinking about it. You stop concerning yourself with it, and you let it manifest in its own way, and you get busy doing something positive. Thank you very much for spending some time with me today. Until next time, blessed be. Wow, I don't believe I got that done so quickly. Let's see if we have any questions. Okay. Ariel, I noticed that different things like the lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram and the Yahweh formula invoke the elements in different orders. Is there anything meaningful or useful to that, or is it just a trivial difference? The LBRP aren't invoking the elements. They have the elements in different, it has the elements in different directions. And so you're going Deosil in a circle, and you're calling on what you're invoking is the archangels at each quarter, and each of those archangels rules an element. The formula of creation doesn't go in the direction of a circle. The formula of creation starts with fire, and then water, then air, then earth, because that's the alchemical distillation process. But the directions don't necessarily follow that, because that's the reason why we have the different directions governing different elements usually is based upon climate of or geography of wherever that tradition came up from. So usually the East is considered the sacred, and that was often decided to be the element of air, just because of the eastern wind. But like if you're in a different climate, instead of the south being fire, if you're in a different geography, instead of the south being fire, like in the Stregan traditions, the south is not fire, the south is water, because that's where the sea is, right? Whereas the sea would be in the west in certain regions, so that's where the water would be. The north is usually always earth, because that's considered where the lode is. That's where the compass is. The compass point is. So the north is almost always earth, but the other three elements can change depending on the tradition, and the tradition is usually based on geography. So the Golden Dawn came from they say it came from Germany, I think, ultimately, but British people really made it popular. So it's dealing with their geography. So I wouldn't consider that the same as the alchemical formula of the name of God, because even in the Golden Dawn, the different worlds are fire, then water, then air, then earth. They go in that order. The different worlds of the Kabbalah are in that order, not so much the directions of the elements. That was very convoluted, but I hope that helped. Okay, thank you so very much for being here, and thank you so very much to the amazing and wonderful moderators. Today we had the lovely Heather, the lovely Honeypaw, and the lovely Dre, and we will see you all in 10 minutes for our premiere. Until next time, blessed be.
Gatoga.